It's been 6 months ago since I did the video about my trolling motor that I got from my kayak, my Perception Outlaw. And I've had a few people ask me when I was going to finish the video, the mounting it and all that. Well, it's took me about 5 months to get the battery. I'm legally blind. I'm on a fixed income. I can't just go out and buy stuff like a lot of y'all can. So it took me a while to get the money up to go get it. But I got it. And I also said that I was going to try to mount the trolling motor onto the kayak without drilling any holes. I went ahead and tried it. It seemed to work out, but I don't think it will work without having to drill holes. But let me show you what I done. Alright, so I got an Everlast Marine battery. It's a 101 amp hour battery. Now my ideal was to use my milk crate and a treated 2x4, which as you can see, I took a 2x4, cut it to length. It's shorter now because I actually cut the part off that the trolling motor mounted to over there to use for how I'm going to do it now. But my ideal was the weight of the battery would counteract the trolling motor. After I put it all together, I put the battery in here. I was going to put it in the back of the crate, but that allowed this to rise up just a little bit. So I found that putting it all the way to the front and over to this side of the crate actually kept it from moving. And pretty much all I did was I took 2x4, cut a piece the size of the inside of my milk crate, and then bolted it to the one on the outside. That way that it, it's connected to this, and the weight of the battery would control 90% of it. Plus the way that these bungee tie down are recessed, the 2x4 fit right down in there and it would stop it. And then on the other side here, so that that would fit down inside of that little spot right there like the other side, I cut a slot out over the 2x4 so that it would fit right there. And once I did that, I gave it a dry run. I put the trolling motor on. I shook it around as much as I could with the battery in there, and it wouldn't move hardly at all. But I've never used a trolling motor, so I don't know exactly how much thrust and how one is going to act on the water. Plus we ended up in a car wreck, so we don't really have a car to haul the kayak to even go try it. We have a rental car, but my wife just won't let me put the thing on top of it to go try it out. So I thought that I would probably end up having to put brackets on the kayak on the 2x4 to secure it, to keep it from moving. I don't know. I never really gave it a try. So y'all might want to try this for yourself, see maybe it works for y'all. I don't know. But I'm going to put it on the back of the kayak where it's supposed to go. So let me show you what I've done so far. Yeah, so far the only thing I have done is made the plate that will fit back here where the transom mount is supposed to go. I got a plate for the top, and then I got two pieces that I'm going to put on the inside as a backer plate. Then drilled the holes out. Went and got me some L brackets and some bolts. I've got to screw the hose into the kayak, and of course I've got to put a hatch, and I've done got it circled or drawed out. It's gonna sit right there, and then here's the actual cover thing for it. It takes a 5-inch hatch, and Harmony sells one for like $30-something. There's just no way that I would pay $30 for a hatch that I'm probably going to use just this one time. The only thing difference in it and what I bought was The Harmony comes with a dry storage bag, which I don't need. It comes with the hardware, which that wasn't no problem. I went yesterday to Lowe's and got the screws and or the bolts and the nuts for it, and got this one off of Amazon for $9. So yeah, $9 versus $30 for something I'm only gonna have to have in order to tighten down the bolts for that. So yeah, call me a cheapskate, call me whatever, but hey, I'd rather save money on something. But I'm kind of scared. I ain't gonna lie to you about cutting this hole out. I've cut a hatch out before in one of my other kayaks, and I messed it up pretty bad. I mean, I think I did pretty good for a blind man on cutting a straight line. Oh yeah, this is, or was, a cutting board from Walmart. It was like $3 or something. And yeah, I'm not gonna bore you with the cutting and all of that. Let me get that done and I'll show you what it looks like, and then I'm gonna put everything together and show you how that looks like. So just stay tuned. I hope y'all enjoy. All right, so the worst part's over with. I did all right, I think. That took too much off up here, but let's see if she'll fit. I can't do this with one hand, so I'll be back with you when I get it in. All right, so I didn't drill or cut the hole wide enough, so I had to go in and recut again, but it's in there good and snug now. And now all I need to do is put this in place, screw the holes for that, and put everything together. Just hold on. Okay, now since all the holes are drilled, my next move is to put some clear, waterproof, 100% silicone around this whole thing right here, this ring, especially around the bolt holes, and also on the kayak around the bolt holes. Yeah, I'll say it right. Bolt holes, screw holes. And the same thing with this over here underneath this plate. I'll put some silicone, and then on the underside I'll put silicone on both sides of this plate. This is gonna go in and set in here like this. Now I'm hoping that the screws, the bolts that I got, will be short enough by the time it goes through this plate and the kayak, because the kayak really isn't all that thick. I thought it was going to be thicker than this, so I got longer bolts. I might have to go back and get shorter bolts. If I do, this will be the second time I've had to go get bolts, because the first bolts, they wouldn't screw all the way up on. But enough that, let's get this on here. I'm about ready to be done with this. Alright, so let's see. I'm going to put some around the actual edge of this, just to maybe add a little extra to it. It ain't got to look pretty, it's just got to do what it needs to do. Let me get these bolts in here and I'll get back with you. Alright, at this point I forgot to show you the inside of the kayak where all your bolts are going to come through if you mount anything in the back there. When I bought the screws or the bolts, I thought they were more room back there to work with, but I didn't give any consideration that the recessed handle came up so far. And I'm going to go and get some shorter bolts so that I can actually be able to get my plating on there and get all 6 bolts instead of 4 But what I did end up doing worked, but it was a pain in my butt. It took me almost an hour to do it the way I did it. So here's a tip that maybe will help y'all with some time. When you go to put the bolts in, don't do like I did. Don't put the bolts in and try to put the washer and then try to screw the nut on up to the kayak. Just stick the bolt through just enough so that you can get the nut started, and then screw the bolt down to the kayak. That will save you a lot of time and a lot of hassle. I don't know why I didn't think about it at the time, but I got frustrated because nothing turned out the way I wanted it to at the moment. This is what it looks like up inside there, so you know how much room you got to work with. And then we'll proceed with the rest of the video. Thanks. See how it rises way up? Alright y'all, so this is what she looks like when she's done. I'm gonna throw the trolling motor on there and show you what it looks like with it on there. Like I said, I'm still going to use the crate for the battery box, I believe, because I still use my crate to for my GoPro. But yeah, let's throw these up here. The moment of truth. And I got these backed up way too far. Alrighty. Almost all of the hard part is done. Now I just got to get it registered. Okay, so here's the thing about having your kayak registered. If you're going to put a motor on your kayak at any point, you either need a bill of sale if you bought it off of somebody, or you need a receipt from the store. Otherwise you can't get it registered. Well, you can get it registered, but you'll end up paying sale taxes on it all over again. That is the number one thing that you got to have to register your kayak, is a bill of sale or receipt. But I can't wait to get this thing out on the water and actually see what it does. I'm gonna do a speed test and all that once I'm able to get out on the water with it. Please hit the like button and subscribe. We'll see you on the next one. Go fishing, make memories, y'all.